Hi, I'm Becky from Retro from Scratch, and today we are going down memory lane. We are going to be using this tool today. Do you know what this crafting tool is? It is a diffuser, and I've been thinking about it a lot, having looked at one of my old topic books from school. So Mum kept all our books and they are now in my possession. And there are quite a few different crafting techniques in this book that I want to show you, which is the topic book was on spiders. I think the teacher thought this was going to be the best way to overcome our fears of spiders. It did not work. So there's lots of different techniques in here, but the one I want to show you is this. This is diffusing. And diffusing is a technique where you use a paint or an ink and you blow it onto the surface that you're working on, in this case paper. And we would use these papers as backdrops and then write over them. Now I would say that this red and yellow colour, this is a bit dark, it's quite hard to read over it. I should have perhaps used a bit of a paler colour, but what I thought is we'd have a play with the diffuser and see what we can make, which in this case is wooden, but I remember from school I think they were like a rubber. Thinking about it now, I don't think this was a very safe craft for us to do. Hygiene reasons, I mean, this is just mine, so only I'm going to be using this one, but also you blow this end and then, as if by some sort of magic, the liquid is sucked up and then blows out. I don't know how it does it because it's just two tubes. I don't know how it does it. Anyone know how it does it? There is a science to this. Anyway, the ink comes up. Now, if you suck, it will go in your mouth. So yeah, we don't want that. And then we need some paints. Now, for this, I've actually ordered these India ink paints because they are a liquid based paint which are actually quite thin, and I remember that we always used ink when we did this at school. We didn't use thick paint. However, I have got some acrylic paint that I am going to try and we will see how we get on. So to go with the diffuser, I've also purchased these Liquidor India waterproof inks, but you can actually mix them with water too. I also got these from Amazon, so I will put my affiliate link in the description below if you would like to get some too. They were a great price and there's a good selection. There's 10 colours in here. This is what they look like. And I'm going to be using a variety of colours. We're going to use pink to start with. Let's see how we get on. And we're going to use different types of paper. I want to experiment. So we're going to start with your normal basic white copy paper. It goes without saying that you need to make sure you protect your surface area from any overspray. So I've just put some craft mats here. So I've got a sheet of just copy paper here and I'm going to place that on there like so. And then in a glass, I've mixed a couple of drops of this India ink in the beautiful pink colour, along with some water. So there's not a huge amount in here, but we don't need a lot because I'm only going to be spraying on this piece of paper. And then we're going to get the diffuser and we're going to pop that into the glass. Now, as you can see, it just about is the right height where the hole clears the top of the glass. So I could have probably used a smaller beaker, but this is what I've got to hand. Now we blow and we see what happens. The noise. Let me bring it closer and see if you can actually hear the noise of the diffuser. It's like memories unlocked. As you can see, the closer you get to the paper, you can make darker splodges. If you make it too wet, then it will start to run. but you can also make it darker by adding more ink. So let's give that a go. This is the effect we're getting at the moment. What about if we go directly from the bottle? Shall we see how dark it looks then? Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. So adding water, obviously will water it down like any paint, but if you want real bright colours, you can do this. Now, I wonder if we try some watercolour paper and see how that comes out. So this is watercolour paper. Now, the reason I'm thinking of using this is because this paper has gone quite crinkly because it's now wet. Whereas, of course, watercolour paper is meant to be wet. So let's give this a go. Oh, I love it. But I think we need to add some more colour to that. The paper isn't crinkling and I'm really pleased that it's not doing that. So that's great. Let's add some other colours. What we need to do first is wash this out. And all you need is to run it under a cold tap and give it a blow just to make sure that all the paint is clear. Oh, I've spilt some here. Right, let's add some blue. This is why we put the mat down. Careful not to get any on my fingers. Oh. Okay, let me go clear this up. Oh my goodness. I've had a spillage. Okay, and now we're going to go with the yellow. Oh, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. Oh, I love how the colours are mixing together. What could we make with this? I've actually got some stencils here and I'm wondering, these will layer up. So I'm wondering if we can actually create something using the stencils. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's give it a go. So I have attached the stencil using tape just to make sure that it doesn't move. I'm still concerned that if it's not completely flush to the paper, the paint is going to get underneath and spread. And I think that may happen anyway with this type of paint. I'm going to go in without mixing it to keep the colour nice and thick. And we're using green to start for the leaves. So let's see how we get on. Making sure that's at a 90-degree angle. And depending on how close you blow to it, will depend on how dark the colour is. So if you only want a light spray, then spray from further back. And obviously if you want intense, get closer. I've gone for a darker colour at the bottom and a lighter spray at the top. Now we'll just wait for that to dry and then we'll apply the next colour. Carefully take off the stencil. And the stencil being plastic is probably still wet. There we go. Next bit is the flowers. And I can actually see here where I need to lay the stencil. It's going to go on the top just like that. So let's just tape that down. Because we don't want it to move. What colour are we going to go for? The last colour is going to be yellow. So we want something that's going to sit over, the yellow is going to sit over and we can still see that it's yellow. So I'm actually, for the flowers, I'm going to go back to the watered down pink. Just want that touch of pink on there, nothing too dark, otherwise we won't see the yellow accents. There's also some bits down here I've not covered. Let's just do those. And we'll leave that to dry. I'm not sure what happened, but I deleted the video where I sprayed the yellow paint. Oh, okay. I really love that. I love it. That's so cute. I'm loving all of this. It's a little messier than I'm used to. Most of my crafting is a little cleaner, but it's okay. It's washable. Now I want to take it a step further. I'm going to use the acrylic paint and we've got white here. Obviously I haven't got white ink. Now this is quite thick, so I mixed it down into with water so that it was thinner, but it took quite a bit of mixing, and I have to say it did clog the diffuser several times, so I just kept adding more and more water until it was thin enough that it would spray out. And what I thought I would do is spray white onto this black card to give a starry effect. I'm thinking Star Wars and the like. And this is what happened. So, I mean, it does look kind of cool. I was hoping for more white on black. It's more of a grey, but then it gives it that sort of Milky Way vibe, I don't know, of space, rather than just exactly black and white. I think if you wanted to have brighter white stars on there, then you could use a toothbrush and put this on the toothbrush and then flick it, and that would give a more stark effect. So I've got the space. Now I want some planets, and this is the light source. So I'm going to have the planets with the light side, the dark side here. And what I've used is a coloured paper. One more. It's actually a rainbow coloured paper that I've sprayed with the black ink, and this is the rainbow paper that I've got, but you could paint this yourself. This just happened to be a thin paper, and then I sprayed it with black all down one side like this. And this bit here you could see was a bit too watery, so it's not as dark, but I sprayed it on one side, and then I cut out circles in different sizes, and you can lay them across like this. That needs to be more that way. And the different sizes sort of gives that illusion of space. I think this could make a lovely card, something like "You're out of this world" or something like that written on it. So I really enjoyed that. But you know, I really don't like waste, and I've got this leftover test sheet. It's a bit crinkly, but that's okay. So what I've done is used an old bag from a gift card, and we're going to make this into a card. We're going to go from gift card into a card. I've took a photograph of our lovely Bert and popped this inside the bag, and then I've just drawn around the outline using a Sharpie. And so there we are. We have Bert in plastic form. Like I say, it's all creased up, but you know, I don't like rubbish. And then we can put this over the top, and I quite like using this blob here. I think it works quite, that one could work, but I quite like the dark blob to accentuate his beard. I'm just going to roughly just draw. I shall use a ruler in a minute. Okay, let's cut that out. So I've just slipped the piece of paper into here, and then I'll just trim that bit off. Here we are, isn't that cute? And this is a card with an aperture cut out, and we can just pop that in there. Obviously we can stick it down, but I just want to see if it would fit. Oh, I love it. How cute is that, our little bird? I hope you've enjoyed this week's art class, all based on this one little craft tool, but what a lot of fun that was. I would love to know if you've ever used one of these, or if you think you would like to try it. This is a messier craft than I would normally go for, but it's so much fun. From stencils to things that are out of this world, and using up scraps and rubbish just to create some art. It's just been so much fun. So give us a like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you here next week for another crafty tutorial.